tiles and AirTags for finding your stuff. And this has turned out to be very valuable for me, but I'm going to show you at the end a case study of a woman who lives actually in my area, Northern Virginia, and who recovered her luggage using these tracking devices. In her case, AirTags. Tiles are the senior, what you might call the senior option, because they came out several years before AirTags were introduced. Now I'm going to take a moment and once again hide the floating media controls. There we go. Now, there's a lot of things that you might think of as important stuff that you might want to find, and you can't always find it. Your phone is an example, your purse or wallet, your keys, your cameras. Maybe you can't find your car in a parking lot. And then there's the classic one, luggage. And it turns out tiles and AirTags can help you find those things, whether they are nearby in your home or in your car, or they are far away. So we're going to look at how they work. We're going to talk about the Tile Mate and the Tile app, AirTags and the Find My app for iPhones and iPads, global search for tiled or AirTag property, which is the way that these things first became widely known, because travel writers were writing about people who put a tile or an AirTag in their luggage, and when the airline lost it, they used a global search and found it. And that's pretty darn impressive. There are other models of tiles. Tiles has become, they've elaborated tiles into shapes for various purposes. Robert Mitchell, please put your question in the chat addressed to Judy Taylor, and we'll handle those at the end of the presentation. Changing a Tile Mate battery. I'll show you how to do that. It's pretty simple. There are limits on Bluetooth range, so your device won't be able to find things immediately, but it will be able to tell you where you last were within range of Bluetooth for any particular tiled or AirTag property. And we're going to talk about surreptitious tracking. This has made some, this has reached the attention of general media a few times over the past couple of years. What this means is somebody that you do not necessarily know or may not want to be involved with has dropped a tile or an AirTag into your pocket, your purse, or maybe attached it to your car. And then they use global tracking as you move around to keep track of where you are. Now, of course, you want to avoid that, and I'm going to show you how to avoid it. Now, a few comments about Bluetooth and about the global positioning system, GPS. Bluetooth, as was mentioned in the prior presentation today, is a short-range radio technology in which two devices are paired, and that allows communication between the two of them. And you're going to find out that all of these tile and AirTag devices are indeed Bluetooth devices that can be paired with an app on your phone. And this is what the word paired means. Your tile or AirTag is recognized and ready to communicate with an app on your phone or your tablet via Bluetooth. Now, today you will learn how to connect a new tile or an AirTag to the corresponding app on your phone. After pairing, GPS, which is usually referred to as location services on your phone or your tablet, is a one-way radio technology, and it's used by your phone or tablet to record the location of that tile or AirTag whenever the tile or AirTag is within Bluetooth range. Now, it won't be accurate down to the foot because your tiled or AirTag property may be 20 feet away, something like that. But it'll give you a pretty good idea of where your property is when you want to find it. GPS is called location services, as I mentioned, and as a general rule, when using these tile or AirTags property location devices, you're going to have to keep both Bluetooth and location services running on your phone or your tablet all the time. Now, in particular, one of the common misconceptions in this realm is simply that GPS is not built into tiles or AirTags. They themselves are not capable of receiving those signals from satellites, so that they do not themselves know where they are. And the only way to know the locale of a tile or AirTag is to satisfy these three conditions. First, your smartphone or tablet must have location services and Bluetooth turned on. Second, your tile or AirTag property must be close enough to the smartphone or tablet for Bluetooth communication. And for some of these devices, that might be 10 feet, might be 30 feet, might be longer than that. Now, in the case of tile, your tile app must be permitted to use location services all the time, not just when the app is running. Okay. My daughter gave me 2 tile mates for Father's Day in 2020, and that's how I got started on this topic. This is a picture of the tile mate. And obviously it's more or less square, although it has rounded corners. The size is 1.4 inches by 1.4 inches by 1/4 inch. It does have a replaceable battery, at least the version I got in 2020 does. And that type is a CR1632 battery, what we call a button battery. You need to replace the battery every year. The free tile app will remind you to do that. Now, as of last year, 2022, the updated tile mate has a non-replaceable battery. However, the vintage 2020 tile mate is still available on Amazon and other sellers as of last week. I checked on the 6th of July. I happen to think that the version with the replaceable battery is a better approach. It's more economical because replacing the battery costs $1, whereas something with a non-replaceable battery costs you $20 or more to replace. Now, the tile app, which you use in order to find your tiles or your tiled property, is a free Android and iOS app. So it runs on Android phones and runs on Apple phones. The app provides 3 ways to find tiled property. First of all, if your app is within Bluetooth range of your tiled property, it can make that property, or it can make the tile on that property play music, and it will also show the tile signal strength in the sense of cold, warm, and warmer. So if you move around a little bit, you can hear it, and your phone will tell you when you're getting really close. Indeed, I had one tile app playing music inside a desk drawer, and I could not hear it until I got real close to the desk, but the tile signal strength shown on the tile app led me right to that desk. The tile app can tell you the last known locale of your tile, and indeed, if it's outside of your immediate area, it can show it on a map. The tile app also lets you initiate what's called a global search, and what that uses is all tile apps on all smartphones and tablets, wherever they are. And if they get close enough to pick up the Bluetooth signal from your tile, then they'll let you know where they found it. Now, how to attach tiles to your stuff? Well, I found several different ways. First of all, anything that has an interior, luggage, purse, backpack, cars, lens cases. I put the tile in the interior, but close to the exterior so that its Bluetooth capability is not being muffled by other things inside. And then again, there's various ways you can use that tile mate hole. Now, this is a picture of my digital SLR, and I put a split ring on the left side of that so that I could attach a tile. And here you see it. The other metal construction you see there, other than the split ring, is known as a snap hook. And that's what I use to attach my camera strap, so that it will not be worn out by abrasion against a tiny little metal piece that the split ring is now attached to on the camera. That hole is also handy for attaching a tile to a key ring, a dog collar, even a child's belt loop. So if you are in charge of children or grandchildren, then that may be a useful option for you too, because I know how easy it is to lose track of a child since I raised 3 of them. Here's another approach that I have used occasionally. Put a small carabiner clip through that tile hole, and then you can clip it and unclip it at your convenience. This is what I used when attaching a tile to my strobe flash that I put on my digital SLRs. And that plastic tile is something you can easily find at various locations. Now, there are other tile models. This one was introduced specifically for wallets and purses. It is the same size in terms of its width and height as a credit card. It is twice the thickness of a credit card. So it fits nicely wherever you would store credit cards. This is one with a not replaceable battery. It is said to last 3 years. Once the battery is dead, then you have to buy another one if you want to stick with this approach. There are other forms. This one is called a tile sticker, and it is also a non-replaceable battery, but it has an adhesive back. And so if you wanted to attach it to, say, the back of the screen of a laptop, you could accomplish that. Also, this is might be a good alternative for adhesive to a part of your car exterior, maybe under a fender. Tile Pro is bigger than Mate, but it's otherwise the same shape, and it has a hole through it. It's also more expensive, but it does allow you to change the battery. Now, what have I placed my tiles on? Well, my car, my daughter gave me a Tile Slim, I think for Christmas at the end of 2020, and I put that in the glove box of my car. My 2 luggage pieces, I put a tile in the outer pocket of each of those 2 luggage pieces. I have 3 backpacks that I use quite a bit. I put one a tile mate in an outer pocket of each of those. My car keys and my house keys, I have 2 separate rings. I've got a tile mate on each one. My 2 digital SLR cameras and my camcorder. Now, I used a split ring, as I pointed out in the illustration, for attaching it to the camera straps in each case. Put one in the bottom of my telephoto lens case, and I put one strapped with one of those plastic ties around my strobe flash unit. Those are all very expensive things. I don't want to lose them. Now, tile has been around long enough that it has reached agreements with some other manufacturers, and those manufacturers are building tile technology inside select electronic devices. Lenovo and HP build some laptops with it already inside. Dell makes a headset with it already inside. Bose makes headphones with tile already inside. Fitbit has built it into their watches. And there are others. Now, if you'd like to find out the latest list, you can find that list at this URL. I have included the QR code containing that URL. If you want to scan it now, you can, but you can also save this slide using the techniques I outlined earlier. I've put that reminder at the bottom of this screen, and I'll give you a couple of seconds to do that. Okay. Now, that should have done that. Here's a look at the Tile app. When you run it, typically this is the first screen that it shows up, and it will list whatever tiles and the associated property that you have already identified and connected to the Tile app. In my case, the list is much longer than the screen, so I have to scroll down to see all of them. The Find button, which I have circled here for my 19-inch suitcase, means that the tile item is close enough for Bluetooth to work, so you can tap the button to make the tile play music. Location reported as nearby also means the tiled item is in range or very close to being in range. You may have to move around a little bit to make that Find button appear. Okay, now at the bottom of the Tile app, there are buttons. The first button I circled here at the bottom, which resembles a push pin, displays a map, and that map will show you the last known locales of paired tiles. So if you've got one in your car, it'll show you where your car is parked. The second button, the one on the lower right, which looks a little bit like an email, it will display notifications. Now, notifications is the critical screen if you've started a global search for one of your tiled properties. And that notification will tell you if somebody has found it and show you a map of where it was found. The final button on the left is the button that returns to this main screen, and it looks like a group of tiles. So think of that as returning to the tiles list. Now, how to connect a tile to the Tile app. Make sure Bluetooth is enabled on your device. Keep your new tile nearby within a few inches because you're going to need to touch it in a moment. You start the Tile app and notice the plus button in the upper left corner. Touch that button. That begins the process of pairing your Tile app with your new tile. And when you do that, it will display this screen, Add a Device. And what you want to do is tap the green button called Activate a Tile. When you do that, you're going to see this screen telling you what to do. I have circled the instructions. It says, click the tile button to begin activation. It'll play a nice tune. So you need to click that tile button. I circled it here in the picture of the tile mate. And after that, a next button appears. And actually, it is on the screen here. It's not shown. If you take a look at the very bottom of the Activate Tile screen, the next button appears. I guess I have to adjust my presentation, don't I? Okay, now, once you tap that next button, the Tile app will attempt to identify your new tile and displays the phrase activating tile. And when done, the app displays, great, tile is now activated. Tap next to continue. And after you do that, the app displays a long list of possible uses for that new tile. So almost inevitably, you're going to have a use in mind when you buy a new tile. So choose one from the list. Now, The next thing that comes up is, can tiles be registered on multiple devices? And the answer is yes, you can do that. And in fact, you don't have to do an activate on device number 2. Instead, you install the app on the second device, and on your first device, you create a tile account. It's free. You don't have to pay any money for it. When you have the app on the second device, you can register the app using the same account. And on that second device, when you register on that second account with the same account ID and password, then the tile app on that second device automatically loads all the tiles associated with your account. So when you add a new tile, you're recording it on the tile app servers and not just on your phone or tablet. And that's how they can automatically transfer all of them when you use a second device with the same account ID and password in the tile app. So that's especially useful if your phone is broken or stolen. Now, the 2022 Tile Mate, I mentioned that earlier. It has a greater Bluetooth range than its predecessors. And Tile says the Tile Mate battery, which is non-replaceable in that 2022 version, will last 3 years. Now, when I found that out, I bought 6 2020 Tile Mates, bought them on Amazon. And as of now, only one current tile model does include a replaceable battery. And the emphasis here is on current tile model. And that's the expensive Tile Pro. Now, let's take a look at the other kid, the new kid on the block, so to speak. It was introduced in 2021, and it has a non-replaceable battery. And I think that is what inspired Tile to bring out an updated Tile Mate in 2022 with a non-replaceable battery. It's similar to tiles in many ways. First of all, it's a disc shape. Second, there's no hole in the AirTag body, which means if you want to attach it to something, you need to put it in a case. And here you see a case that includes a split ring. And Apple and third parties sell the straps and the cases, like the case you see here. AirTag can be located using both the iCloud.com webpage and the Find My app on your Apple devices. Apple says its global search option uses all iPhones and iPads, not just those with Find My on them. I kind of think that it won't use older iPhones where the Find My app cannot run. But that's a limited number of devices still in use around the world. Now, how to connect an AirTag to the Find My app. There are instructions inside the AirTag box, and here they are. I've quoted them verbatim. Update to the latest iOS or iPad OS. Turn on Bluetooth on your device, then pull the tab. That was a little bit ambiguous to me. Here's what I found. When I opened the box with my AirTag in it, it had plastic wrapped around it. I had to unwrap the plastic, and the plastic is attached to the little pad that makes it impossible for the battery to start working. When you pull out that tab, the battery starts working, and that's what you need to do. But you can't do it. You can't even see the tab until you completely unwrap it. Now, then it says hold near your iPhone or iPad, near your device, and follow on-screen instructions that appear on the device. You also have to turn on location services. Here I've depicted the wrapper unwrapped and that made it possible for me to find the tab. And it certainly was not obvious when I opened that box. Now, here's what popped up on my phone, which was at the time running iOS 15.1, when I followed that procedure and pulled the tab out of my AirTag. It popped up this message that said AirTag with one button, connect. So you tap that button. Then it presented a scrolling list. You scroll up and down to find a desired purpose for the AirTag. Once you've selected that, again, you tap continue. The third thing is to register. Oh, and I thought that box was going to block my email address and my phone number. It didn't. I'll have to fix that. You register your AirTag to your Apple ID and then tap continue again. You do not have to state your Apple ID. It gets that from your phone. And finally, it provides a name, and it says it's setting up. That may take a minute or two. Once that's done, the pop-up just disappears from your device. Here's, actually it doesn't. It opens the Find My app. It displays the name of the device, and it reminds you that you have several options when you want to find it, including just asking Siri to find it for you. You click the Done button, and you're all set. Okay. Now, Find My app will show you a map, including the last locale of your AirTag. It will also allow you to find the AirTag and cause it by causing it to play a sound. One thing that the AirTag does not have is a button. And one thing I didn't mention about Tiles is that if you double tap the button, it will make your phone make a sound. So with Tiles, you can use the tile to find a lost phone. And of course, as is true with the Tile app, in the Find My app, you can initiate a global search for your AirTag, which is especially useful for lost luggage. Based on my experience with Tiles and my Android phone, I think it's necessary to keep the location services and Bluetooth running constantly on Android. And that gives you the greatest opportunity to stay up to date with the position of your tiled property, whether it's in your house, your car, in your wallet, whatever. The Tile app on iOS says it can keep track of tiles even when the app is not running. But again, you have to keep location services and Bluetooth running constantly. Now, if you want to force your tile to make a sound, you first of all, you run the Tile app. Second, you tap the Tiles button to display all your tiles. And any tile that has a green Find button, you can tap that and it will start playing music immediately because it is within Bluetooth range of your phone or tablet. So you tap the Find button of the tile you want to hear. You listen carefully for the sound. It's not loud, or at least not for seniors who have attended a lot of rock concerts. Let me put it that way. It's not loud. Now, I actually gave this away a moment ago. Find your phone or your tablet using your tile. You double tap the Tile button on the tile itself, and that will force the phone on which you've installed Tile to play a sound. And it's pretty loud. Now, having said that, you do not have to have the Tile app running on that phone in order to be able to find the phone. It will make a sound anyway, even if the Tile app is not running at the moment you double tap the Tile button on the tile. Now, the next question is how to turn off that phone turn off that sound on the phone once you have found it. And the answer is tap the phone's on-off button. Okay, now let's look at the Find My app. This is what we use on Apple devices for finding AirTagged property. And it's pre-installed. It's part of the standard set of apps that Apple installs on all such devices. The app enables you to find both AirTags and any other iPhone or iPad that's also registered to your Apple ID. And indeed, you can do all of that through iCloud for that matter. Now, here's a look at the AirTag app, and we're going to find out how to make it play a sound on your AirTag. So you'll see a list, and here I only have one item in the list of things that have been registered on your phone with AirTags. And if you do not see that list, you need to tap this button at the bottom of the Find My screen, the button labeled Items. In the list, you tap the named item that you wish to find, and it will display a screen devoted to that particular item. And in that screen, a very, very prominent button is labeled Play Sound. Tap that, and your AirTag will start playing a sound. Now, let's look at a specific example that is important to a lot of people. Find your car in a public parking lot. The app uses location services on the phone or tablet to record the last known locale of each AirTag or tile. Now, having said that, keep in mind that if you park at the bottom of a multi-story lot, probably GPS is not going to be working very accurately because there's a lot of concrete between you and those GPS satellites in the sky overhead. So, works best when your view of the sky is unobstructed. Now, I recommend that you start the app you're using, either Tile or AirTag, before you leave the car, or more accurately, before you walk away from the car. The app can lead you to your tiled car because you can confirm that it knows where your car is at that time. You can confirm it by seeing it within the app. And so you do that by, what I suggest you do is confirm that by using the app before you leave the car. So your Tile app definitely says you know where it is. And then you can use the app to lead you back to the car when you exit shopping or whatever else you're doing. And as I said previously, it works best in a parking lot open to the sky. Let's see here. AirTag property, using AirTag to do this is almost identical to using Tile to do this, to track your car. So once again, when you get out of the car, you start the Find My app and make sure that the Find My app shows the car in the place where you have just parked. And then you can use the app to come back to the car, to lead you back to the car, because you have definitely confirmed that the app knows where your car currently is when you leave it. So when you come back, you can use the app to find it again. Again, it works best in a parking lot open to the sky. Now, this is the topic that really made Tile famous to the world, or at least to the traveling public, because many people put tiles in their luggage, and when the airline lost the luggage, a global search literally told the owner, and the owner told the airline where the luggage was. Now, here's how we do it with Tile. In the Tile app, you tap the Tiles button to display all of your tiles, tap the name of the tile you want to search for, and this screen appears. If it's not within Bluetooth range, it'll say this tile is not within range. And as you might guess, you tap notify when found. And there I circled the button for you, and that initiates a global search, which means that every user of a tile app will have their phones search for the identity, the known identity of the tile that is not within range. Now, do they know that it's being done? No, they don't. Incidentally, occasionally when you have the tile app running, it'll pop up and say something like, in my community anyway, it'll say something like, there are 4,722 tile users within your area. Now, I don't know what within your area means. My guess is that it's a mile. But yes, I live in a very crowded suburb, so some of them could be my neighbors. Some of them could be in cars just passing by. But the point is that when your item is found, the notifications button in the app will show you that you have a new notification, and then will show you where it was found. In AirTag, you tap the items button, you tap the named item you want to find, and you scroll down to the screen to the lost mode heading, and you tap the enable button. And here's what lost mode looks like. And you tap the continue button, and that starts the global search for your AirTagged property. Now, as I mentioned previously, finding lost luggage is what made tiles famous in the first place. And later, AirTags had some very widely publicized successes finding lost luggage. And as you can guess, travelers whose luggage included a tile or AirTag and they found their luggage using the global search were overjoyed and very willing to talk to media. Many travel writers now consider tiles or AirTags to be essential for travel. Indeed, the most recent article on essential travel accessories on CNN.com specifically mentioned AirTag, which showed that the writer was an iPhone user. But over the years, the articles have mentioned both tiles and AirTags as essential travel accessories. Now, I'm going to mention one particular story that showed up recently on CNN, and it happened to involve Northern Virginia, the area where I live. I live in Arlington County. This involved a woman who lived in Fairfax County, the big kahuna next door to us. Here's the story. There's the URL. I've given you a short form URL for it. And yes, here's a QR code so that you can scan to go straight to that page. And you can use the Save Now, Scan Later instructions at the bottom of this screen to save this for later. In this particular case, the device included in the luggage was an AirTag. The airline did find the luggage and got it to, I believe it was Dulles Airport. And the traveler opted, when the airline contacted the traveler opted to have the airline deliver the luggage. And this is where the story got interesting. The airline handed the luggage to an individual independent contractor to deliver to the traveler, but the luggage was not delivered. Now, what did happen? Well, guess what? The traveler started a global search and was able on the map in the Find My app to see the contractor car carrying the luggage moving between a local apartment house, and a McDonald's back and forth for a few days. Now, the traveler went to the apartment house, and guess what she found around the trash bin? Discarded luggage from other travelers, emptied out. And since they had IDs on the luggage, she let them know what she had found. The traveler also gave the info about her luggage to the airline and asked for prompt return of her luggage. And the airline did not help. I was flabbergasted. The airlines want to be known for customer service, but this airline did not help. Then she went to the police with the same tracking information and asked the police for help. And guess what? The police did not help. I think I can understand that. They're generally a little bit busy all the time these days. Then the traveler went to the apartment house with a TV crew because she got one of the local television stations interested. She also told the airline what she was doing with that TV crew. And that meant the airline really had to get off its rear end and accomplish something useful. And this is what they did. They hired a courier, had the courier pick up the luggage from the individual contractor, and the courier showed up at the point where the traveler and the TV crew were at the apartment house and handed the luggage to the traveler. Now, I hope the rest of us don't have to go through that much grief to recover luggage from an individual contractor. But the real lesson here is if the airline gives you an option to have the luggage delivered to your home, don't use it. Go to the airport and pick up the luggage there. That cuts out the middleman who might not be doing what they're supposed to be doing. Now, as I said, I like the versions of TileMate that allow you to replace the battery. So I'm going to show you, first of all, how does the Tile app tell you when the battery needs to be replaced? And the answer is, you can see it here circled for my geocaching backpack. The TileMate in that needed a battery replacement when I captured the screen capture to show you. And the battery on the back of the TileMate is under a sliding panel. The panel looks like this. Just press firmly with your finger and pull it away from the center of the TileMate, and it'll come off. And after you replace the battery, you must tell the Tile app that you have done so. You tap on the individual item, and it will have a button that says, I've replaced the battery. And by golly, there's the message. Actually, I should have moved the circle up to where it says, I've replaced this battery. It's just above the red circle instead of inside it. Now, there are limits to Bluetooth range. One of the alleged advantages of Tile Pro is it has a much greater Bluetooth communications range than a standard TileMate. But keep in mind, where you put them is very important. It's not designed to punch through multiple ridges of, or even a single ridge of the terrain. It's not designed to punch through hills or forests or sheet metal or multiple walls. Bluetooth range is also affected by the number of other active Bluetooth devices nearby, such as other tiles, but also computers and other AirTags. And even one of those common Bluetooth devices, earbuds, can interfere, although they are very low power. The ranges quoted by Tile for its models and by Apple for AirTags are probably what we call line of sight. And what that means is they tested it on a flat wheat field with no other Bluetooth device or radio source in that field. So in reality, your range is going to be less. How much less? It depends. Depends on how much interference and so forth. All right, now other uses for tiles and AirTags. If you buy a cover for your US passport, that's a good place to put a Tile Slim, for instance. Laptops, Tile stickers can work well on laptop. Pet collars. If you let a pet outside and it jumps the fence, it's a pretty good idea to have a tile or an AirTag on that pet collar. Maybe your favorite clothing, your jackets, things that maybe don't always end up in the same place when you get home. Any medicine that you need in a hurry, for instance. And I mentioned children and grandchildren already in this presentation. Even their favorite toys, if they throw a tantrum when they can't find their toy, you may want to be able to find it in a hurry. Now, the last thing on the agenda was surreptitious tracking, and this is a slide that essentially provides a summary. I mentioned surreptitious tracking at the start. Some general media columnists have reported, and one in the Washington Post in particular, has been harping on this subject for a while. And what I found so amusing about it was that he didn't bother to look at what could be done by an individual to find out if somebody has tagged themselves or their car without their knowledge. And there are apps for that. They were originally designed to find misplaced earbuds, but they will identify all Bluetooth devices within range of the phone or tablet on which the app runs. One of them for Android devices is called WonderFind. One of them for Apple iPads and iPhones is called Bluetooth Inspector. And you see the icon here. You search for Bluetooth Inspector in the Apple App Store, but on your phone, it's known as BT Inspector, as you can see here. All right. Now, I have mentioned several apps today that you might want to obtain for your devices. And so I'm going to show you a slide for each one of them. First of all, the Tile app itself. On the left is a QR code, which when scanned will take you directly to the Apple App Store page for the Tile app. On the right, if you scan with your Android phone, this one will take you directly to the Google Play Store page on which you can download the Tile app. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to save this screen so that you can scan later if you wish. Frankly, I don't think you need these QR codes because Tile is a nice short word that you can search for using the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. But here it is. I like to be consistent. Now, the Android WonderFind app. Here you can scan the QR code. You can save this page for later scanning. And the idea is that the WonderFind app will identify all Bluetooth devices of whatever brand that are nearby. And then you can check your car and you can check your purse and so forth. Maybe a winter coat to see if somebody slipped an AirTag or a Tile app or Tile into any of those places. If you happen to use an iPhone or iPad instead, yes, there's an app, as I mentioned earlier, Bluetooth Inspector. And here it is. Again, this will identify any device, not just a branded device. For instance, the Apple phones will now identify all AirTags nearby, but to be certain that no Tile is nearby, Bluetooth Inspector will help you find those as well, because it will find anything that is a Bluetooth device nearby. Now, I added a couple of slides this morning. Unfortunately, I didn't have the best news on the AirTag front. As it happened yesterday in Amazon Prime Day deals, they had a deal on AirTags in a 4-pack for about $22 each. They cost almost $30 when purchased individually at full price. And I wrote here, apparently it was good only yesterday on Amazon Prime Day. I checked this morning and it wasn't there anymore. There's better news for Tile. Last night, Tile sent out an email promoting something that they call a warehouse sale. And for the first time since 2022, they are listing Tile Mate. And in this case, it's cut by half, more than 50% off. Tile Mate is now available for $12. As you can see, I circled it here on the Tile webpage for their warehouse sale. And I think, I mean, that's a much better deal than I ever found on Amazon on Prime Day or otherwise for Tile. And the 2020 version is the one that allows you to change the battery. I have occasionally wondered if the battery in the older ones I purchased would already be dead when they arrived here, because these were put in the warehouse a couple of years ago. Apparently they work fine. I've never had a problem with buying the 2020 version. So now you can get it at a very deep discount. It also, when I went on to the web page, it also popped up. I didn't capture the image here for you. It also popped up an offer for an additional 15% discount. I don't know. I didn't try to investigate it. I don't know what the details are. I don't know if you have to buy a lot of them in order to get a 15% discount. Nonetheless, it's worth looking into. Okay, I'm at the end.